You know that toy your mom finally let you buy after you'd asked 11 times in a row at the store? The one with the plastic launcher, the little rip cord, you load the thing up, yank the cord as hard as your 9-year-old arm could manage, and fire a metal top into a plastic bowl on your friend's kitchen floor. And then you'd both just watch, completely silent, two children staring at spinning metal like it was the Super Bowl. That was the entire activity. That was it. And it ruled. I bring this up because somebody made a video game out of that exact feeling. It's called Slayblade, and I have thought about it every single day since I saw it. Let me show you what's going on here. So this dropped during Summer Game Fest week, which if you weren't paying attention was a fire hose. Gears, Persona 6, a full Ocarina of Time remake, roughly 9,000 horror games, enormous stuff, budgets with commas in them. And buried in all that noise was a little trailer for a game where you build a Beyblade and rip it into another Beyblade. That's the pitch. That's the whole thing. It's called Slayblade. Slayblade, you get it. And it is a Y2K Beyblade inspired roguelite, which is a sentence that was engineered in a lab specifically to target me personally. And here's the loop. You build a battle top out of parts. There are more than 60 parts to collect and unlock. You take your little guy out into a city. You find some other clown with a top and you let it rip. Winner takes the cash. You use the cash to buy better parts and you climb your way up to, and I quote, King of the Streets. King of the Streets with a spinning top. I need you to understand how correct this is. And it's a roguelite, so it's run-based. You go, you build, you fight. You probably lose a lot. You start over a little smarter. Chill difficulty, no punishing you into the dirt. They're describing it as a chill roguelite, which normally makes me suspicious because chill is usually what people say right before they show you that magical battle pass. But watch, I'll get to the part where this game does the one thing I did not expect, so stick with me. The look is the part that got me. It's this colorful lo-fi PlayStation 1 aesthetic, low poly, slightly melted, hand-drawn character art bolted onto a little miniature city. It looks like a memory. It looks like a game you'd swear you rented from Blockbuster in 2002 and that could never find again and started to wonder if you made it up. And you get around the city by skateboarding. I want to read you the official feature list because it is a work of art. Okay, ready? Build your Slayblade, sure. Battle your Slayblade, naturally. Bet your lunch money on your Slayblade. I'm sorry, bet your what? You gamble, in this game, your lunch money on a spinning top. This is the most accurate depiction of being 11 years old ever committed to code. And it keeps going. Break the law with your Slayblade. Okay, visit a miniature PS1 city with your Slayblade. Love it. Save the city from a rich loser with your Slayblade. A rich loser, that's the villain. Not a dragon, not a shadow government, a rich loser. I have never wanted to protect a city more in my life. And then at the very bottom of the store page, the developers wrote, and I mean, this is right there on Steam, and if you die in the game, you die in real life. Cool, great, love the stakes. I'll be launching my top with genuine fear now, thank you. Now here's where I actually want to pull the camera back for a second because this is the part that's making me feel things. Slayblade is not made by a big studio. There's no publisher with a logo you've seen before shoving this out the door. This is a tiny Australian studio called Henry's House. And when I say tiny, I mean it is basically two guys. Oscar Britton does the art, Rob Gross does the programming. That's the studio, two dudes working between Perth and Melbourne. And here's the detail that made me love them before I even played anything. They didn't meet at a game jam or a fancy university program. They met at a toga party at a house that belonged to a guy named Henry, which is why the studio is actually called Henry's House. They named their entire company after the party where they met. That's the most Australian origin story I've ever heard, and I would die for these men. These are the same people who made Kardboard Kings, the card shop simulator, the one where you run a little trading card store by the beach. If you know that game, you know these two have a very specific gift, which is taking a dumb, nostalgic, hyper-specific slice of being a kid and turning it into something that feels handmade and warm and very real. That's the thing that separates a game like this from the $60 giants it was standing next to at Summer Games Fest. Nobody in a boardroom greenlit Beyblade Roguelite where you fight a rich loser. Nobody ran that through a focus group. Two guys who met at a toga party just decided it should exist, and then they built it part by part in their own weird handmade style. You can feel the difference. You can always feel the difference when this much time and attention is care is put into a game by just two dudes. So let me actually be real for a second. I think a lot of us have gotten kind of numb. We watch these giant showcases. We see the same 9 live service games with the same 3 battle passes, the same pre-order tiers, the same we'll fix it later, and something in your brain just goes flat. You stop expecting a game to feel like anything. And then a trailer comes on for a game about spinning tops, made by 2 people you've never heard of, and out of nowhere, you're 9 again. You're on your friend's kitchen floor, you're watching metal spin and holding your breaths for absolutely no reason, and it is the most important thing in the world. That feeling isn't gone per se. Nobody took it. It just usually doesn't survive a quarterly earnings call. And every so often, somebody who still remembers it slips one through. Slayblade is one of those. It's not trying to own your weekends or drain your wallet on a schedule. It just wants to hand you a launcher and let you rip. And that's it. That's the whole promise. And honestly, that's enough for me. Okay, sappy part over, back to the lunch money gambling, because I did leave something out. There's a demo right now on Steam. You can go play this today for free before the full game even has a release date, which, given that the full thing is coming soon with no firm date, is a genuinely generous move. And there's one more detail I have to tell you because it broke me. On their own Steam page, the devs put a note that says if you leave a review, somehow use the word crumpet in it, just to confuse people. That's the marketing plan. That's the whole strategy, crumpet. I have never wishlisted a game faster. So here's what I'd do. Go play the demo, see if it grabs you the way it grabbed me, and if you like it, wishlist the full thing, because these are exactly the 2 people you want to actually make it to a release date. If this video showed up and you recommended while you're putting off something you were supposed to be doing, you're welcome, and I'm sorry, and go play the demo instead. If you had even a flicker of the kitchen floor feeling, do me a favor and hit like. It genuinely helps a channel like this one more than you'd think. Subscribe if you want more of me getting way too invested in games 2 guys made in a garage. And tell me in the comments, what's the one hyper-specific childhood toy or game that would instantly get you if somebody made a version of it right now? What's your Beyblade? I want to hear the weird one. I'll see you in the next one. Cyler out. Go rip a top.